Reviews play a huge role in your sales. This shows consumers that your company is trustworthy. The more positive reviews you have, the more likely a consumer is going to shop with you. Now, when you're first starting out, the common question is, well, how do I get reviews? So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 different strategies that I personally do in all my shops to gain more reviews. These techniques will cover both physical as well as POD products. And if you're a POD seller, by the end of this video, I am going to drop a real bomb that will not only lead to more reviews, but also more sales. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. And without further ado, let's get into this. Now, before I start, I just want to say one thing. Do not message your customer right after they submit an order. I know it's tempting, and you've probably heard from other people before that you should follow up with them, but I'm here to tell you that is not the way to go. As soon as the consumer makes a purchase, just leave them alone. You do not need to follow up with them. Trust me. Etsy sends out a ton of emails. They even follow up with the consumer on your behalf asking for a review. They send so many emails that honestly, it gets annoying sometimes. So if you send a message following up and asking for a review, the chances are they're going to get frustrated with you. And this is not something that you want. And in some cases, this may lead to a negative review. So just don't do it. And that leads us to our first strategy. Add a personal message inside their package. Now, this is very important when you're first starting out. See, you're new and they're just not sure about you yet. So leaving them a personal note will make them feel special. Now, what I mean by personal is adding their name. Unfortunately, with POD, you can't leave their name, but you can still send a thank you card, and I'll cover that in just a moment. Before that, let me explain how doing this will help you. See, most people just send a typical thank you card with their website, Instagram, and Facebook on it. And you know what happens to that card? It gets thrown right in the trash. It's not memorable. Now, the more unforgettable that note that you can leave, the more likely they will remember you and your store and leave you a review. This strategy went a long way in the beginning of every single company that I launched. Now, I changed up the messages in the thank you cards weekly. And the reason I did this is it was always to add something new. So if a consumer returned, they didn't just get that same old crap that everyone else is sending out. Instead, it was something different and unique each and every single time. Now, like I said earlier, you can't personalize these with your print-on-demand service. However, you still can be different, and you can add cards and designs directly right from that system. The great thing is, it's super cheap. On Printify, it's only 10 cents more to add this into your order. So let me show you. So for this, I'm just going to jump right on to Printify. Now, I personally use Printify for all of my print-on-demand orders, and I am very familiar with the card and quality that they send in each order. So once you're on Printify, just click on the settings and then click on branding. From there, click on Start Designing. Now, you could design this using either the Printify editor or upload a design that you previously made. Now, if you're new to making this sort of thing, I would highly recommend that you have somebody make it for you. You could easily just go to Fiverr and get one made for $5 to $10. This will ensure that the design that you send to your customers is eye-catching and memorable. This is something that is super important, like I said earlier. You want to stand out from the crowd, and you don't want to just send the same old cards that everybody else does. Now, before I continue, I do want to just note that for premium members, it is only 10 cents a card, and for non-premium, it is 15 cents per card to be added to your order. If you sell more than 5 products a month, I would highly suggest that you just upgrade to the premium account. It literally pays for itself. Not only do you get the products for cheaper, but it also gives you added features. So just keep that in mind. Now let's jump into that second strategy. Being as that Etsy sends a ton of emails, you can just have them do the work for you. You can provide your customers with a thank you discount code. This will encourage that they come back and hopefully purchase more. And just like the first technique, if you change this up frequently, this gives them a time limit, and customers will notice this and they'll keep them intrigued in your shop on their mind. Now, I've had numerous people leave me reviews and thank me for the discount codes. And since they change so often, they feel like you're giving them more each time. Now, there's multiple ways that you can set this up. You can do pre and post-purchase discounts. I would suggest that you do them all. The first option is to add a discount code on the customer's receipt. Now, you want to add this code to the physical receipt as well as the receipt that's emailed to them. The second option is to send the customer a post-purchase thank you email. These emails will include the discount code if they come back. You could also do this for pre-sales in the form of abandoned cart or when they favorite an item. This is a great way to bring customers back. See, everyone is looking for a deal, so more than likely they will purchase again. And if they're happy with the quality of the item that they receive, likely they will leave you a review. Now, just a quick side note, you want to make sure that each one of these is labeled differently. So the abandoned cart, the favorite, the thank you change them up and have them different each and every single time. Don't just do thank you 35 for 35% off. Be unique in the way that you add this code and change it each and every single week or month. Let's move on to the third strategy. Simply provide them with a free item. Now, this strategy comes in two different forms. You can either send them something right away or make them sign up for an email promotion in order to receive a free item. Either option works, but the second option will allow you to gather their email and information. Now, I want you to be very careful with whichever option that you choose, because sometimes the customer gets angry with free items. Trust me, I have no idea why, but 1 out of every 100 customers for some odd reason wants to complain about something free. And if you go that first route and just send it right in that original order, they sometimes think that it was part of their original order. So you have to make sure that you label it in some way that, hey, it's free. This will ensure that they know they didn't purchase this. Now, you can provide something that's completely out of the norm. Doesn't even have to go with your shop. For example, I used to actually send out those candy hearts during Valentine's Day or when you're approaching Valentine's Day. For orders over $50, I would send out larger boxes and I would personally write their names on it. This goes back to that first strategy with personalization. Now, I received a ton of emails after doing this, and I would do it a month in advance so that they received it in time for Valentine's Day. And everybody would thank me, hey, thanks for the candy. And it was just an ongoing thing every year, something that I would do. So you don't have to send something that is involved in your store. It can just be completely random. Now, you will probably still have that random customer that complains. But if they do, just kind of roll your eyes to yourself. There's always that one person that just hates everything. It's kind of like those people that leave you 4 stars because they say, well, no one deserves 5. It's really annoying. I know. But before we move on to that next step, you're probably wondering, how do you get their email if you went the second route? You simply add it to the thank you card. What you do is write something like, scan this QR code for a free gift. Then they're going to be directed to enter their order number and their email address. Remember, you need to have the order number. Then what you would do is look up the order number on Etsy. Now you have their address and you can send them a free gift. It could be physical, digital, or whatever you choose. See, the best part about this is you can do this with POD as well. You simply just follow that strategy in that first step on how to write a thank you card. And the best thing is, you now have their email, so you can email market to them every time that you launch a new product. The fourth strategy is customer service. Now, you may have heard me talk about this a lot in my first few videos, and trust me, customer service goes a long way. It's not just about how you interact with that particular consumer via Messenger. This impacts everything you do online. So if somebody leaves you a negative review, how you respond to that negative review is extremely important. That response is seen by every customer that goes to your product pages. And if they see you being rude or attacking a customer, they will likely shop somewhere else. So even if it's maybe their fault, make sure you do not attack them. Be as friendly as possible. Customers seeing this will think more highly of you. And if a customer messages you, same thing applies. Always be respectful and polite, even if they are rude. And even if they send you a million messages and don't actually buy anything, which happens a lot. Remember, all it takes is one screenshot and then just to post it somewhere. Then your sales will plummet. So keep this in mind when you respond to customers online. Whether it's through the Messenger app or a negative review, always take the high road. And your future customers, I promise you, they will praise you for this. Now, onto the last strategy, shipping time. Even though the customers are given a time frame and they see it on the product page as well as the checkout page, they still really believe as soon as they hit that buy button that they can walk right to the door and grab that item. And this is really Amazon's fault, but we unfortunately live in their world now and we have to adapt. The sooner that you can get a product shipped and the faster you can get that product into that consumer's hands, the more likely they will leave you a review. Believe it or not, most of my reviews online are based on my customer service as well as how fast I get that item to a consumer. This seriously makes up 65% of the reviews I have online, and I have well over 40,000 reviews. So you can see how important those two aspects are. Now, for those of you that sell print on demand and use POD services, this used to be hard because you can't exactly change where it ships from. If a customer lives in, say, California and the item ships from Georgia, it will still take time to arrive. Well, the good news is that this is all about the change. At the end of this month, Printify will be launching Printify Choice. And if you're not familiar or sure what that is, let me explain. If a customer purchases an item from you and say they live in Arizona, Printify will actually fulfill your item with that closest fulfillment center to them. This ensures that the item gets to your customer quickly. Also, what's great is that this feature only works with providers that have a 9.0 rating or higher. So you won't have to worry about loss of quality at all. The only thing you're going to have to do is just sit back and enjoy. Watch your customers come flooding in with the thank yous. And you can keep the same shipping time frame on your Etsy pages. And then when they receive that item faster, they will be shocked and happy with your company. And that is exactly how you keep a customer. Now, before I end this video, I just want to say those last two things, the customer service and the shipping time, they will lead to more reviews than anything else. I've been on Etsy for over 5 years, and every company that I launched, it goes like this. First, shipping time. Second, quality. And then third, customer service. Quality items only make up about 25% of the reviews. That means that the majority of the reviews that I receive come from shipping and customer service. So now you see why those are so important. Those two aspects is what is going to make a huge difference. I hope that this video helped you understand different strategies that you could take to gain more reviews. I honestly wish that there was just some magic button that you could push, but unfortunately there's not. You never want to beg for a review, and you don't want to be annoyed and continuously message them. I promise you that these 5 strategies will work as they've worked for me. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. You know I love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon.